Hello everyone, welcome to my keto journey. So I was getting ready to fix dinner and I thought, well, why don't I just film this and give you a simple recipe to do for dinner. Now I'm going to be making some chicken and rice casserole. This was a recipe I was supposed to be making over the weekend, but I got invited out to dinner and you never say no to a free dinner. Anyway, so I thought I would make it tonight. It's Monday. And I'm going to put you down here and let you see what we're doing. Okay, so this is a casserole dish that's already been baked in. I actually baked 4 large chicken thighs in it, and I pulled the skin off. The skin was nice and crispy, and that was a great afternoon snack for me. So, so this is 4 chicken thighs, and I just pulled the chicken apart. Then, now, it has juice and stuff in it when it bakes. Do not throw this away. Oh my gosh, can you see all that flavor in there? Amazing. That is going to be used to make our cream of chicken soup. And then, of course, we're going to be using rice cauliflower for the rice. We're going to need some cream cheese. And I only use Philadelphia cream cheese. It's the only one that's less than a gram of carb per serving. We may or may not use some chicken broth. I don't know if we'll need it yet. We are going to need some xanthium gum and some heavy whipping cream. So to get started, the first thing I'm going to do is open up my cauliflower rice. And with frozen cauliflower rice, you really need to sort of pre-cook it because it's got a lot of moisture in it, and it will really wet your casserole if you don't cook it down. And I'm just breaking this up a little bit. Hands are clean here. And I'm just going to probably go ahead and cook this whole bag. Now, this says from microwave, you're going to microwave on high for 3 to 4 minutes. And you're just going to put it in there and cook it until the water is evaporated off of it. So we're going to go ahead and stick that in the microwave for 4 minutes. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take our broth here and we're going to open up this cream cheese. I have no idea why. I always have the hardest time opening cream cheese up, but I do. Oh, I might gonna do it today. Oh, there we go. All right. Now, I have a knife here, and we're just gonna take 4 ounces, so roughly half of this, and then I'm just gonna cube it up, and I'm going to stick it in my broth, which has cooled off. Okay, and save that for another meal. Then we're just going to add a little bit of salt to our chicken, and I use peak Himalayan salt. I did salt the top of it when I was baking it, but of course, you know, you lose some of that when you peel the skin off, so just going to give that a little zhoosh there. Okay, so now we're going to go over to the stove for step 2. Okay, step 2 involves making your cream of chicken soup. You know, so we're going to make it kind of thick. So we're just letting our pan heat up. Okay, our pan is nice and toasty, and I'm just going to pour all that flavorful juice in along with the cream cheese. And we're just going to start melting the cream cheese in. If you can use like the juice or, you know, make your own broth, it's much more flavorful than what you get in the store, and it's richer. And you also know what it is. I mean, what you put in it. But store-bought broth is handy. I will say that. But this is rich juice with the fats from the chicken. And it is amazing. Okay, so our cheese is melted and it's coming up to a good bubble. Before we put our heavy cream in there, we want to turn down the burner to about medium heat, because we don't want our heavy cream to curdle. Now, another thing I forgot to mention, the reason why I like to use the juice and stuff in the chicken as it bait was because it has nice little bits of chicken in it. And like I said, we may put a little bit of broth in here, but quite honestly, I don't know if it's going to need it or not. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. We're going to put in about half a cup of heavy cream. And we're just going to stir this up. Oh, sorry. Checking on my cauliflower rice. And so we hadn't even put any xanthan gum in here, and it's getting quite thick as it is. So I am going to put just a tiny bit in there, though. Not a lot. So I think I'm just going to put about a 1/4 teaspoon in there. And that is going to thicken it up a little bit more. So I'm just going to sprinkle that in on top. Now, if you're new to my channel and you haven't seen me use this before, it is Hodgkin's meal xanthan gum. It's gluten-free. And it really does help bind things together. And see, if you look close, you can see all the little bits and pieces of chicken in there from that wonderful, flavorful, fatty juice from baking the chicken. So we're just going to bring this up to a simmer, and then when it comes to a simmer, we're going to finish it up. Okay, we are at a nice little simmer, so I'm going to turn the heat off of this, and then we're going to go back over to the counter and put our casserole together. Okay, the one thing I like about this recipe is the fact that it uses the same casserole dish as I baked my chicken in. Now, this original recipe, I don't know if it was my grandmother's original recipe or not, but she used to make this all the time. Okay, we grew up with very humble beginnings, and my grandmother was always one to stretch a buck. She could take one chicken breast and feed the whole family of 5, okay? So she called this souped up chicken. But that didn't sound, too appetizing to me, so I just renamed it chicken and rice casserole. And I'm sure people have done it. There's other recipes out there. Of course, I'm doing it different than her. She would have used real rice. She would have put it in the bottom of the pan, put some juice over it, then added the cream of chicken soup, and the rice would have cooked. And when she did that, it didn't always get done, but it was always good, and we always ate it regardless. So all I did was dump the cauliflower rice in with the chicken, and I'm just mixing the chicken up in it. Okay? And because the chicken thighs had fat and stuff in them, this is already coated. I don't even need to spray it again. So I'm just going to put this in my casserole dish. Now, obviously, this is going to be more than I can eat. I will have this for lunch tomorrow, and it is easy to freeze. So anything I have left over, I will put in my freezer, and it'll be for one of those quick days when I don't have time to do a lot of cooking. So, now we're going to take our cream of chicken soup that we made, and it's gotten really nice and thicker, if that's a word. And we're going to pour it over top of our rice. Sorry, I know the pan's in the way, but I have to hold it, guys. We're going to get all this up. And I have to tell you, I had tasted a little bit of it. Man, that's just good. Okay. So we're going to do that. Smooth this out over top. Just kind of give it a zhuzh a little bit so it'll sink down in there. And everything is really done in it, so you just want to put it in the oven just for about 15 minutes or so. I like to get it a little bit brown because there's flavor in brown, you guys. And so I'm just kind of mixing it up a little bit. You probably can mix it up in your bowl with the soup in there and then pour the whole thing in your casserole. What I was going to tell you is, like I said, my grandmother used to cook this, and she would put the rice in, and then the butter, and then the soup in there, and then she'd put the chicken on top to bake on top. But obviously I don't want to do that because that's going to put too much moisture in there for the cauliflower rice, and we don't want that. We don't want it to be watery. We want it to be yummy and good. Okay, so I'm going to put this in a 350-degree oven. Now, you may want to use 375. I put it in a 350-degree oven for 15 minutes because I have a convection oven, and it tends to cook a little faster. And so I back off the heat a little bit. So somewhere between 350 and 375 for 15 minutes, just until the top gets nice and golden brown. And then we'll be ready to eat it. Okay, guys, it is out of the oven, and oh man, does it smell good. I've tried waiting and let it sit for a minute, but yeah, that's probably not going to happen. So we're going to dish it up, and this is all I'm going to eat because everybody goes, what about vegetables? Well, it's got vegetables in it. It's got my cauliflower in it. And so I'm really excited about this. So we're going to dish it up, and then we're going to taste it. Now, it's not going to dish up like your normal casserole. It's not going to be in a perfect little square bite. It might be a little bit more firmer if you let it sit for a few minutes and cool off, but I'm not going to do that. But it looks just like my grandma used to make it with the rice and everything, even though it's cauliflower rice and not rice. So let me put you up here and we'll give it a taste. Okay, this is what it looks like. And we're going to go in and get a bite of chicken and everything all together. And we're going to blow it. Because it is steaming hot. You know, this is just good Southern comfort food. I was born in the South. And I grew up eating things that some people would cringe about. But I grew up, you know, my grandparents had a farm. And we grew everything. And so it was... This brings me back. Oh my gosh, y'all, that is so yummy. You've got to try this recipe. Now, if this is your first time coming to my channel, I know it's a newer channel and I'm starting to get it to grow. So please go down there and click that subscribe button for me. And don't forget to tap the bell, and then you'll be notified when I upload new videos. And I'm going to try to start vlogging more often. But this is an exclusive video for you guys. It will not be on my Crafts and More channel. I will have a recipe up on that channel on Friday for Keto Living. And then it will also be on here. Alright guys, thank you so much for coming along and cooking dinner with me tonight. And I hope to see you next time I upload. Bye!